I make it clear from the start that I'm not a follower of Jakes nor Osteen. They're human beings. I respect them, but I don't look forward to hearing them speak and wanting to try anything that they're talking about, whatever. All right. But still, I have to tell you that I agree with them in this position of not taking a side on healthcare or any other political issue. Jesus never encouraged political activism within the church. He told them to respect the politicians, pray for them, but leave politics to them. See, but you find during the 70s, I think, they started this thing called social gospel and revolutionary gospel and so forth, where churchmen will embed themselves with the sort of rebels in Latin America and fighting and all this kind of stuff. What they were trying to bring on maybe is communism, and communism is not something that works over here in the West, because I know it got certain powers riled up, but nevertheless the people of themselves seem not to want the leftist movements. And so this is maybe the foreshadow of the Occupy. They wanted socialism, and I'm not sure why intelligent people from universities, well, so-called intelligent people from universities, are going to be talking socialism, because socialism collapsed. I don't know how it did, but it's not something, it seems to me, independent of the pressure that others would give it, it's a system that won't work. I mean, you're working hard and somebody shirking on a tree, and then they're talking about we all are equal and we all going to share the same pie and all that. Nobody wants that. When a guy puts out work, he wants to benefit. And if the guy sitting on the tree, he's working, thinks he should be ahead of that guy. They shouldn't be comrades on the same level and live in the same little housing project and so on. So that is not self-interest. And then in the Middle East, they want in democracy, which they can't handle democracy over there because their religious concepts are different. So democracy and capitalism is not something that they ever flourish in the Middle East. And then we have in Poland up there, I mean not Poland, but in Ukraine, they want to join with Europe in this European community thing and so on. And they're so close to Russia, it's obvious there's going to be some problems, all right? And I think religious people are behind that because they're going to benefit when the world collapses, all right? And these movements are seriously trying to undermine the world's stability. And then they have the people positioned everywhere in the stock market and start shouting it's about to collapse, doing stuff to make it collapse, the whole 9 yards. And then have people in the media going to say, hey, this man or these people are, they should rule the world because they're whatever, But, and so Jesus never really was involved in politics. And I think that there are more nobler themes that religion could get into. The second coming of Jesus. I mean, people thought this was pie in the sky a long time ago, but today, when you look all around, you got to be crazy not to believe that something stupendous is about to happen. And one of the things that could happen is the return of the Lord. Also, things about Reformation. We need to go back to ancient times, how people had that religiosity. We need to go back to ancient times because people try to play smart. I'm so modern, I have this education. But all they're doing is going back into what happened in the past. Civilizations and societies go in this movement. They have a serious religious fervor. They come to power. They start to do all the rest of things like what others have done, and then they come back where they're gonna need another reformation, and they're gone by the in the garbage of history, and a new nation comes on. The succession of empires is the same thing. They were fervent, they're working hard. They come to the place where they start declining, and then they collapse because they start doing a whole bunch of things and saying, "Oh, we're so smart." But if they do the things that they were doing earlier, like working hard, respecting one another, following the laws of land and of God, you're not going to steal somebody's house, you're not going to mess with a wife, those kind of things. All right. And then also we need a revival of the type of Pentecostal spirit. Now, I'm not talking about Pentecostal church as such. I'm talking about on the day of Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit came on, people were doing miraculous things. One guy was speaking, and people hearing his speech in their own language. Call that, I think it's glossolalia, something like that. They call it tongues, but it was really languages. And this guy wasn't speaking no set of languages. He was just speaking his Hebrew. And the Greeks were hearing in their language. The Germans were hearing in their language. The French, the Spanish, the English, everybody was hearing it in their language. So one guy can't speak all those languages concurrently. So that was a miracle of the Holy Spirit. And so Today, I'm interested in Spanish, and I have an interest in language generally, but I don't have to be proficient in any of them. If I have a critical message and I'm saying it, I'm sure God is going to make sure that people who don't have the same language experience like me will get it. You're not going to go into a church where everybody speaks English and start talking Spanish or French or some other language. I mean, you're just wasting time because you have to come back and interpret it. Those folks, the gift of the Holy Spirit won't come in and do anything in there because they're English. You just look stupid, you know? All right. So some other themes they should come on to, love. Let us love one another again. Let us respect government, because right now governments have no respect everywhere. From here, every office, people think to castigate them and then denigrate their sort of importance and the influence they should have. They should speak to that. Go to work hard. Respect your body and stay away from anything that's harmful. Whether overindulgence or drinking water, where we see it's killing a whole bunch of people now in these games they play, viral games. Let's see how much water you could drink. I drink a gallon, see if you could drink 2. I mean, as soon as you start to thin out your blood like that, you're gonna die. All right, stroke straight up. Body start dying in the extremities. No, not enough oxygen getting around. It's gonna be over soon. Too much of milk is bad, but there's some other things that not any of it is good. Alcohol is poison. Beer, it's poison. Marijuana, whatever, you know. So these are the things that these religious men should be doing more of, as opposed to trying to tell the government what to do. Because except they want to rule the world and knock out the Antichrist and rule the world. Well, I can understand where they're coming from, but I don't think Jakes and Osteen have any interest in ruling the world. You know, so at least I agree with them in not getting involved in politics, but I hope that they're going to, get into the word and stop, this entertainment thing and get serious with people. Tell them, listen, I mean, you got to tell them some ugly stuff. Hello, you think that you're all this, all of us are like, rags. None is righteous. That's that stuff, and getting back to understand that, we all just humans and we're not all that important as you think. And it's all about God. If you have an important job and doing a great work out there, give God the glory. But we all gonna kick the bucket one day. Somebody hold us and stop the air from getting into our bodies for a couple of minutes, and it's gonna be over. I don't care how powerful or how big or how pretty or whatever you are. That's the case with a human. So it doesn't require or necessary that you become beyond yourself and try to, sort of get intoxicated with your appellations and your, importance and so on, because we're just humans. All right, these are the messages folks need to understand, because what I've discovered is when you're succeeding, you tend to get self and start doing more self things, and hopefully that can lead to more success. A basketball player is going to be spending a whole bunch of money, has an entourage, and thinks that is going to help him to win more. But a lot of times when you need that is when it's declining, and the type of income starts coming in, can't even take care of the entourage, and so it leads to bankruptcy. But whereas if, well, again, he's about to go, but if you were to get back to the discipline, training hard, working hard, doing what he has to do, maybe that would be enough than this big set of entourage and this big party stuff and so forth, and spending the money like crazy, what some people do. So yeah, religion and politics shouldn't mix.